Now, at the risk of being called a conspiracy theorist again, which is nothing unusual, is there an agenda other than the vaccination? And one of the issues that is now becoming very prominent is the one of the Green Pass. Mm-hmm. Now, Donald Trump made it quite clear that, as far as he was concerned, choice was something that is inherent and should be part and parcel of humanity. It's part of your human right to make a choice, and I agree with that. But it seems now that they want to make it mandatory. But the government doesn't really want to push this angle, so they are wanting the rest of the world, the private sector, to push the issue as well. So here you have the economic world and the government working in unity to achieve something. So this one is a bit tongue-in-cheek. How you think mandatory vaccination will work. They will force you to line up under military guide, and then you will get vaccinated whether you like it or not. But how it will actually work, some people say, is you won't be able to buy or sell. Card declined. In other words, you will need a Green Pass. Mm-hmm. So, Martin, if the science is not absolutely settled, if there is a vast debate out there, should we not? Mm. And if people had a free choice to choose or not to choose, then why are we seeing this push towards a Green Pass? And let's just look how far this has gone.
And we don't say the vaccine is good or bad or anything, but is there a plan?
Is there an agenda behind it?
Yes.
Yes. So here we have a video on RT. Let's just look at that.
Assuming you want to enter, you have to have what is called a green passport. It's issued after persons received 2 vaccinations 21 days apart. And in a month's time, just opposite the hotel, you won't be able to enter shops like this. You won't be able to enter supermarkets, gyms, shopping centers, synagogues. In fact, you won't be able to go just about anywhere in Israel unless you have a green passport. It comes as the government steps up efforts to vaccinate the population. It's being met with mixed reaction on the street. Jerusalem plans to ban unvaccinated people from certain jobs and has warned that anyone found forging vaccine certificates will be jailed. A black market for counterfeit certificates is thriving on Telegram, where already 100,000 users have joined groups that promote forgeries. Vaccine hesitancy and skepticism have become a growing concern in recent weeks as Israel's world-leading inoculation program slows down. Just under 2 million Israelis have not received either of the 2 shots, and many say they don't plan to. It's forcing the government to come up with new incentives to encourage people to receive shots.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are very happy to host you in the world's first ever vaccination bar.
I think it's a good idea, yeah. I think there are a lot of people that are just lazy.
All right, so they've given the people some incentives to become vaccinated and then to be able to get a Green Pass. Mm-hmm. Now, as we've heard, you'll probably have to be vaccinated again and again and again. So, very interesting. All right, so these are some of the incentives to make you get a Green Pass. In other words, a mechanism has been put in place whereby you can buy or sell. Mm-hmm. Is it based on absolute efficacy of the vaccine?
No.
No. Because with any change, you will have to do it again, okay?
New vaccine.
But a mechanism has been put in place.
Correct.
Okay. Now, what about the other countries? This is an important question, right?
Yeah.
Is it going to be just Israel? Here's LifeSite. Wristbands and dining cards. New army policies exclude, isolate, unvaccinated. So you have the same system in the US Army. You're going to have a kind of Green Pass. Saudi Arabia launches health passport for COVID-19 vaccine recipients. So here again, you need a health passport. You need to prove that you were part of the program. Otherwise, you cannot partake in travel or other activities, right?
Correct. You can't go to the gym.
Can't do anything.
Nothing.
All right, here you have Ireland. It says additional freedoms will be granted to people once they have been fully vaccinated. And then Leo Varadkar has confirmed the government is developing a digital green certificate vaccine pass for people to prove they have been fully inoculated. So there is an agenda. You have to now prove that you were inoculated. And as we have heard, some people say if you do not become inoculated, then you are basically an enemy. You are even a murderer because you might infect other people.
Yes.
But as we've seen, the vaccine doesn't protect you at all from transmitting the virus, so that argument is nonsensical.
And if you've been vaccinated, you can still get it as well.
Exactly.
So.
Here's the Business Insider. New York launched COVID-19 digital vaccination passport that will let people go to concerts, sports games, etc. And sooner or later, will you be able to go to the store to buy food?
Well, no.
Here's the BBC News. COVID passports. What are different countries planning? EU leaders have backed introduction of a digital green certificate, but some countries inside and outside the EU have already announced plans for vaccine passports. So this is coming to your part of the world, like it or not. It is a means of controlling, buying, and selling.
Yes.
This does not mean that it is the mark of the beast.
No.
Some people say that even we have said that this is the mark of the beast. No. The mark of the beast is a very specific something.
Yes.
And it has to do with the beast, which is by definition Roman Catholicism and its acclaimed mark of authority.
Correct.
But what we have here is a method of controlling buying and selling. That's all. Let's continue. Now here is an article from CNW, and it says, stay home on weekends. Jamaica Prime Minister imposes lockdowns for the next 3 weeks. To curb the spike in cases, Jamaicans will have to stay at home for the next 3 weekends. The lockdowns would begin from midday on Saturday to Monday at 5 a.m. during the Easter holidays. The lockdown will commence on Good Friday, April the 2nd, to about 5 a.m. on April the 6th. It's interesting to me that it wasn't only in Jamaica, but Germany did exactly the same thing. Yes. And other countries were still under lockdown and either came out or are still not out.
Correct.
So we're having this scenario all the time. And we've spoken about Sunday being the mark of the beast for a very, very long time. Now, let's just reiterate why we say Sunday is the mark of the beast for those who are new to this kind of debate. Protestantism, in all its interpretations of prophecy, have always maintained that the beast of Revelation 13, the first beast, is Roman Catholicism. It has the exact same criteria as the little horn power, the Antichrist power in Daniel chapter 7. So that was that power, and that the second power, the United States of America, the leader of the free world, or the New World Order if you like, will be the one driving the world into the acceptance of the mark of that beast. Now, the only one who can tell us what the mark is that beast itself. And that beast has consistently maintained throughout history that the mark of its ecclesiastical power is that it transferred the solemnity of the seventh-day Sabbath, Saturday, to Sunday. And therefore it is above the Bible, and it is a higher authority than God himself in his word. That's basically it. So it is a choice between whose authority do you accept in the world.
Yes.
Correct? Now we've been dealing with this whole COVID issue. And we've been saying consistently that this is a method or a possible stepping stone in implementing the methodology which will eventually enable them to enforce the mark of the beast. Another example is here in India, extends Sunday lockdown to 4 more districts. So again, Sunday is being pushed. Let's just think about that for a second, Martin. The final warning to the world has a health component. And it says to the world, God is your life giver. God will take care of you. God wants you to live according to his directives and according to his blueprint. He's the one who made you. He's the one who designed you. He's the one who gave you your immune system to deal with whatever the world has to throw at you. Do you think that if the health message is associated with the warning against the mark of the beast, do you think that the enemy will have a health message associated with his real mark of the beast?
Definitely.
Okay. Now what if he says, I have a health message for you. I am your life giver. You have to do this, that, and the other, including perhaps taking a vaccine, or else you are a threat to others. And if you accept this, then you will be able to buy and sell and live normally like everyone else. But if you don't, we will isolate you. And we will make sure that you will be deprived of the very things that you need to live a normal life until you come to your senses. What do you call something like that?
Coercion.
Coercion. Forcing you in a particular direction, right? Now, if you say, I don't want to do that, and the measures don't work, what if the next step would be, if you don't do this, then you are a cancer in society, and you have to be removed. And we will make a death decree, and we will make sure that we remove you. Now, that death decree doesn't come with a vaccine.
No.
That death decree comes with the mark of the beast. So now, let's say you have the mechanism in place that you cannot buy or sell if you do not accept the vaccine.
Yes.
Is it possible to add pieces to that legislation?
Definitely.
What could you add?
Well, the climate change.
Climate change and climate lockdown legislation, which says that you have to take a day off, and that day has to be Sunday.
Correct.
And on any other day, you have to play your part in society. And if you don't want to do that, then the restrictions become greater.
Yeah.
And eventually the restrictions become so great because there's no doubt that the climate change legislation is the next card that is going to be played.
Klaus Schwab said it.
Klaus Schwab said it, Biden said it, they're all saying it.
Yes.
All right? We've shown that over and over. That's the next card that will be played. Then the mechanism will have been put in place. It's not the mark of the beast, but it's the controlling mechanism to control those who refuse to accept it.
Correct.
And then eventually it will escalate to the point of a death decree.
Yes.
So here's another question. Is this something that will happen right at the end, or should our minds already start thinking along these lines and saying incrementally, I must beware that I do not get trapped into a system that coerces me into something that I do not want to do?
That's what I've been saying from the beginning. Looking for the Sunday legislation is not going to be a singular event.
No.
It's not going to be, oh, here it is now.
No.
It's going to be like this, leading up to it. And if you're going to be tested, not just there,
incrementally,
all the way up to there.
And if you don't learn to, at some point or other, say, but this goes against my moral conviction, but for the sake of, I will go along with it. So this is the bottom line. This is not just about a vaccination program. This is not just about a Green Pass. This is leading to the very final events predicted in the Bible. And we are not setting any time. We don't know when it will be. But we can certainly see the incremental steps that are leading to the very point of decision, whether you either accept the mark of the beast or you don't. That decision is yours and mine and yours alone. Nobody has the right to coerce you. You make that decision. Not even God will force you one way or the other, but the consequences will be eternal.